Hi, everyone. I'm Tiffany Saade, and it's a pleasure to walk you through the key takeaways from our first two foundational lessons on AI governance and the ethics in AI. These are two critical pillars that every organization must understand in this era to be able to build trustworthy, responsible, and impactful AI systems. So let's begin with the first lesson on the fundamentals of AI governance. Now, the important thing to understand is that AI governance isn't just a buzzword. It is about ensuring that our AI systems are not only smart, but safe, fair, responsibly aligned with our human values. And in this lesson, we explored how governance frameworks are serving as guiding structures to manage AI responsibly throughout its entire life cycle of the model. And that includes regulatory compliance with frameworks like the EU AI Act, the GDPR, the CCPA, risk management frameworks for issues like bias or harms or unintended consequences, and of course, accountability and transparency. So we know how these decisions are made and who is responsible for them. In this lesson, we also discussed the importance of alignment, which is AI efforts have to support our organization, our institution, and ultimately our broader goals, while also having respect for the ethical and the legal boundaries. And yes, of course, we acknowledge that governance is challenging. From keeping up with rotating regulations to making complex AI model explainable, but also keeping up with the pace of the advancements of the technology, it really requires a constant and iterative collaboration, adaptation, and leadership process to win. Now on to lesson two, which was about the ethics and the biases in AI systems. This one really hits home for everyone, everywhere, at any time, because we've constantly seen how AI models can be used for exponential growth and exponential innovation, but also how it can unintentionally cause harm when it reflects and mirrors the underlying biases and inequalities in our world, especially as these systems are used in an asymmetric way. In this lesson, we've looked at different types of bias that come from the data, that come from the algorithm itself, from the training process, but also from the data labeling, and how all of these different pieces of the puzzle can lead to discriminatory practices, unfair usage, even erosion of trust, and legal and compliance failure risks. But we didn't stop at identifying the problems. We also took it a step forward by exploring solutions. How do we go from there? We start with building diverse data sets. We proactively conduct audits for bias. We design for inclusion. And we ensure ongoing monitoring and revising of our systems outputs and systems training sets. Because fairness and privacy must be a design principle from the first day, not a fix or a patch post-launch and post-deployment. And we explored that just as important to that is the notion of explainability. Because we've seen that if people and users do not understand how AI is making decisions, they will not trust it. And if developers are unable to trace back to how AI is making decisions, then if unintended failures occur, we will not be able to fix them. In this lesson, we covered techniques such as SHAP, LIME, and other counterfactuals, which help shed the light on these black box models, but that still remains a challenge today. And we emphasized tailoring explanations to your audience, technical teams that need metrics, while impacted consumers and users really deserve that transparency, empathy, and clarity while interacting with these tools. Finally, we wrapped our lesson with the notion of accountability. And this means having clear set roles, oversight boards, complaint mechanisms, and documented decision trails. Because AI isn't just a technical tool, it is our social responsibility. And in that lens, we must ensure that our systems are not only innovative, efficient, and work, but also ethical, responsible, inclusive, and accountable to the people they serve and the people that use them.